Hey everybody, Kevin Bratz here with another quick tip from GetBitOutdoors on how to build a rod quicker and easier. So everyone has installed a reel seat, and if you haven't, here's a quick way to do it. I'm going to show you a few tricks, so hang in with me. So let's say we're building an inshore rod. I'm a huge fan of using shims, okay? You can also use tape, which I'm going to show you some tricks there. But when using a shim, what you want to do is epoxy your shim inside your reel seat using your next level lockdown paste. Okay, let that dry, and then use your reamer either by hand or on a drill, and you'll ream out the shim diameter to fit the diameter of your blank where your reel seat is going to sit. Okay, so let's say this was our grip, right? Obviously I haven't reamed it out far enough, right? So I would ream this out a little further with our reamer. This is a Dream Reamer from Batson on a drill. It's the easiest way to do it in my opinion. Ream that out a little bit further, it's going to slide down just where it's snug right above the grip. Okay, so then what I would do, I'm going to use my electrical tape, right? And I would, before I put any epoxy on my blank, right? Mr. Bob behind the camera showed me this trick. Take your electrical tape and wrap it tightly around the threads on your reel seat, right? You can do this with masking tape, and you can do it without any tape. But the reason that Mr. Bob pointed this out, and I agree wholeheartedly, to use electrical tape is because it stretches and it locks down and squeezes tight on those threads so that it doesn't allow the epoxy to get in there. If you use masking tape, which I'll show you here in a second, the masking tape just doesn't pull down tight enough. Even though our stuff here is super sticky, it doesn't squeeze, right? Masking tape only sticks. So the electrical tape squeeze, and when you glue it, you tape it to itself, it stays stuff pulled in tight, so it doesn't let glue get in there. If you're like me, you hate messes, it's quick and easy to just pull this off. You're gonna pull off all your epoxy at the same time, and it's less mess to clean up. All right, so that's a little trick number one, using the shim, much lighter, more sensitive for inshore stuff, using the electrical tape to keep your threads clean. You can use masking tape as well. But now, one more quick trick. Let's say we're building a heavier rod with a bigger reel seat, right? Like this is a size 20, beautiful Green Alps reel seat. Let's say our handle is here, or put this up against our rear grip. I'm gonna take my China marker and I'm gonna mark, it would be just the top of my reel seat because the grip would be here. But in this sense, or maybe we're building a cork tape rod and we don't have a rear grip on here, we're going to put a rear grip eventually. Either way, mark where my reel seat's going to go, and then I'm going to actually start my rings using my power wrapper. Now we have two new sizes of masking tape here at GetBitOutdoors. We have added a 3/4 inch and a 1 inch masking tape to our offering, which has already had 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch in it. They all serve their purposes, guys. They're cheap, a couple bucks a roll. If I'm building a smaller rod, 1/2 inch if I'm not using a shim, right? If I'm building a rod like this, I like 3/4 or 1 inch. If I'm building a bigger rod, I want to use 1 inch masking tape. It makes it much easier, less number of rings, and it does a better job, in my opinion, keeping our reel seat centered because you have a bigger surface area, keeping that reel seat straight at each ring, okay? So let's show you how I use a power wrapper to do it nice and quick and easy. Rather than, wrap by hand, which you can do. When I say wrap by hand, I mean wrap it around, rings around the blank. If you use your power wrapper, it's super quick and easy, and you can do it, in my opinion, more in a uniform fashion, right? So I take my power wrapper and just let it run, okay? Try to keep your rings straight so you don't get too much back and forth, and then I'll just take my reel seat and slide it up on there. Oh, I went too far, right? No big deal. Just back it off, keeping my tape on the roll so I can use it for my next ring. Try again. Oh, it didn't go far enough yet, right? Boom, close. Back up a little bit. Now we're good, okay? So I'm gonna add a little bit more. I'll pull it down nice and tight. Rip that tape off and still double check. Perfect, right? Not too tight. You want to get some glue in there, yes? But not loose to where your reel seat's wobbling. So then I'll do my next ring. I always go from the bottom up because you want to get each ring snug individually. If you start here, you'll never really know if this ring is the right height. because it's going to get tight up here and you're not going to feel how truly tight it is. You can do it, but it's much easier to start from the bottom ring, work your way up, right? So do your next second ring. You can see how fast it is on this power wrapper. And it's also tough because I'm back behind this table trying to do this video. All right, so my second ring, power wrapper makes it super easy. And that's a little snug for me, right? I want to make sure we have plenty of epoxy in there. So I'm going to back that out a little bit. You can always take away, you can always add to it. Ring number 2, perfect. Now we're talking, right? This 1-inch tape just makes a huge difference versus a 1/2 inch. So I like to have one ring just back from the bottom of the reel seat, one dead center, and one just back from the top of the reel seat. Now the reason that is these two are the most important. Okay, it keeps the reel seat from doing this. If you start doing this, you're going to start breaking it free. You don't want it to move at all. Keep this good and locked up and down. And then the middle one is just to help it keep centered in the middle, and then also keep your epoxy high, right? Because when you slide it down, that epoxy is going to move somewhat. That middle ring keeps epoxy built up around it so that it gets a good bond. All right, so let's try that. Nope, not enough. No problem, quick and easy. Run that up. Boom, perfect, right? So now you can see that reel seat is not moving. No joke, right? If you did that with 1/2 inch rings, you can do it, but it's going to take twice the amount of time, and it's not going to be as uniform. You see these big old flat platforms? The 1-inch tape makes it much easier to get a nice, perfectly straight, solid bond on your reel seat. There is nothing worse than a reel seat breaking free. I was fishing a tournament one time, and it was sponsored by a friend of mine who was sponsored by St. Croix. We had to use St. Croix rods, nothing against them. Reel seat broke free, and it was a nightmare. I swore that would never happen again. And it was not my fault. We had to use their rods. Nothing against St. Croix, it was just a bad situation. So you don't want that. That was in the middle of a tournament, okay? Plenty of good tape, good epoxy, and don't overfill your gap with tape. You want to have direct bond from the blank to the reel seat with plenty of epoxy. It's not a good thing to add more rings in here, okay? The rings are just to center it until the epoxy takes hold. So that's all I've got for you. Remember, electro tape is your best friend to keep your threads clean. Use shims on inshore builds because it's going to make them lighter and more sensitive. Use your dream reamer if you can. Chuck it up into a drill, super quick and easy. And then use, in my opinion, not to sell you more tape. I'm going to make nothing on this. I sell them for $2 a piece, but get a roll of each size tape. It just makes a big difference. You saw how nice it was having the 1-inch tape. If I did that with this here, I mean, you can see I would need at least twice as many reams, and it's just not as smooth. All right, so appreciate y'all big time. Please like, share, follow. It's a huge help in helping us reach more rod builders. We don't have that big marketing budget, and we just want to help. That's why we do these fun videos. And if you have any questions, comments, as always, reach out to us here at GetBitOutdoors. We're here to help with all your rod building needs, whether you're retail or wholesale. We appreciate you big time. Have an awesome day. God bless, and we'll see you soon.